If you want to be technical about it, there was an organization called ALTA before Charlie Cox came along. But if you're talking about the mammoth tennis organization we all know today,
I can just say without a doubt, because I was right there, Charlie was the person that formed ALTA. And that's quite an honor, I think, because ALTA, you know, approached almost 100,000 members now. It's the biggest thing in Atlanta for tennis.
One evening, the doorbell rang at my home, and I opened the door, and Charlie was there, and I looked up at him, and he said, I have this idea. I have this idea to play teams against each other. I think it will be like a league play, and I want you to help me organize it. And that was the beginning of ALTA.
Long before match play, Charlie Cox was a darn good player in his own right. He played at Georgia Tech and then competed as a senior player in the 1960s onward. And he never really stopped playing, competing, and winning.
He always was on the tennis court just giving tips and helping to all the kids, but you know, with me too, just helping me to know things about my game, things that I could do to improve, and just practicing in the Atlanta area.
He was a great competitive player. Starting at about the 35s, I think he won Georgia State championships in every age division from the 35s to the 70s.
He had a big serve because he was about 6'5" in height, and then he had a great serve and volley. You know, back in the 70s, that's when people were serving volleying.
So why would a Delta pilot go down as the creator of an entire Atlanta phenomenon? Helping Charlie Cox were two things. His children all had tennis talent, and Charlie Cox was, well, just a born leader.
I mean, my dad was definitely an extrovert. He loved people. He was high energy.
Anything that Mr. Cox would tell people, people would just really value his opinion and his advice.
Dad has so much to do with tennis in Georgia through all my growing up years. And he always knew that tennis would be just a great sport for people to play, and especially for league play in Atlanta.
So in 1971, as a way to facilitate matches between clubs, he and a small group held the first ALTA meeting in a small hotel banquet room. They set up matches, and their wildest dreams were quickly surpassed.
It was Charlie's idea, and it was an amazing thing, if you think about it. He is a visionary, and to have this idea, I don't know that Charlie envisioned it at 85,000 members as it is, I believe, now, but I think he really had a vision for the Atlanta Lawn Tennis Association to grow its membership and to see, you know, have fun playing these tournaments, you know, get to know people.
From playing tennis early in the 50s, that how fun it was, and he could just tell that Atlanta was the area to join into league play. He had no idea that it would grow from the small amount of people that they had in the beginning to what it is now. It's just beyond his thoughts, I think.
Cox eventually let others follow him in leadership roles, and he returned to the court where he and his talented son Bud were regular winners for years in father-son national tournaments. But a half-century later, an entire Atlanta culture rightfully remembers him as the father of ALTA, and so do those he's touched personally along the way.
He's like another dad to me, and I just remember him always encouraging me, and I really appreciate that about Mr. Cox.
He's so humble, and he just really had a love of tennis, and just to see it take on in Atlanta and all the clubs and league play was just amazing.
Obviously a special, you know, person in my life, my dad, and just thankful to have had him as we went. So it was just it was a great life, and that's what he would say too, that it was a great life.
Charlie Cox, a member of the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame.